You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Before we get into things though, I first have to preface something that will probably invalidate a lot of my criticisms to some people. I have not seen the first Mario movie. I mentioned something about it in my last video, and I still haven't watched it, and I probably will not remedy that after this, so apologies if that upsets you, but we can hash it out in the comments. Do not pay to see this movie. There are other ways. Do not pay to see this movie. I don't even really know how to concisely describe what the viewing experience for this was. So I don't think I'm going to try to because the movie wasn't either. This just felt like so much happening, but also nothing happening at the same time. I think to start, I just have to say, getting into the pace of the movie was incredibly difficult. Everything just moves so fast, and there really is not a single second to breathe, either visually or having the characters do a gag or even just moving on to the next scene completely. So something about that, especially at the start, was just really difficult to get into and honestly gave me quite a bit of anxiety. Obviously they have to move at a certain pace because doing the story of Mario Galaxy or even an abridged story in a 90-minute film is difficult. However, I feel like the things that they did decide to spend the time on just didn't really make sense. What the hell were Pikmin and Star Fox doing in this movie? And honestly, the worst part is that Fox was the best part of the movie for me. I'm not saying that I think these films need to have an Oscar-worthy screenplay, but so many things are either introduced or half introduced and just don't really have a payoff. Mario's character arc is him being uncertain if Peach likes him or if he should say how he feels about her, and then the payoff of it is just a kiss on the cheek. And then them doing a platforming level together. I will say though, a good pace breaker that there wasn't enough of, but if there was more of them, then I'd probably be sick of them, were the slow-mo shots. Just because of how much is constantly going on, the couple seconds reprieve we would get where things just aren't moving so fast was honestly kind of nice. Kind of going to the pacing of it, related to the score, I feel like there were so many moments that could have peaked so much more, emotionally, whatever else, if they just also let the score had a second longer to breathe. At the ending fight, I feel like they just cut it off so soon, and it's just such an unsatisfying resolution. This is about to sound so insane, but something about this movie almost feels like I need to get medicated for ADHD after watching, if I didn't already need to get medicated before. I've seen some people say that they feel like this movie was built for TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and unfortunately that honestly does have some merit because I think there are scenes or moments in isolation that are good, but altogether it is just so disjointed. It just feels upsetting to see Nintendo take this step to represent their franchises on such a large scale to the mass public, and they're just I don't know, taking such a low-hanging fruit, or not even, it feels like this fruit is almost rotten. I don't know, it just kind of gives just creating more brand and corporate synergy and character recognition, so we spend our money. I think what adds to the disappointment of it is that it would be one thing if we were able to cleanse our palate with potentially a new Mario game or something like that. but Nintendo has just constantly been doing re-releases or updates for previously existing games. Instead of relying on re-releases and updating titles that have already released, I think the focus should be on creating something that will be able to stand the test of time. Ugh, I know I'm all over the place, but going back to the ADHD bit, the Rob joke annoyed the fuck out of me. Like, something about the character's reactions to his slowness was just so, like, it wasn't even funny. It was just, like, infuriating and annoying to me. You know, this exact joke was ripped from Zootopia, and it was incredibly effective there because it was delivered by a slow animal, as well as allowing the scene to actually have minutes of time for build up and just like continued, I don't know, like payoff release moments, I guess. You can't really do a slow joke when the whole joke is only like 10 seconds. What is slow about that? Like the 5 to 4 seconds we had to wait? This movie isn't all bad, but I think the only good things about it just highlight how hollow and shallow this movie really is. From a visual and audio standpoint, this movie is pretty, like, incredible. However, that just, like, makes me feel guilt because it's just, like, using this weaponized nostalgia for the visuals and music, but outside of that, there wasn't anything to it. Again, I apologize for being all over the place, but again, the product I'm talking about was also all over the place, so I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers with this, but I don't think it should be too much to ask that the media we consume doesn't have the depth of like cardboard. Yes, this is a children's film. However, a lot of the children's films that we grew up watching actually had themes, had dialogue that had substance, characters had an arc. There were plot points and thematic elements that adults were able to relate to and be able to enjoy. This just allows for the media to, I don't know, not just be like such a flash in the pan and not rely so much on overwhelming your like senses and relying on overstimulation to keep you engaged. Because yes, I think at the end of the day, that's like really what this film is. It's a barrage of Mario references and then turning into just other Nintendo references towards the end of the movie to keep your attention and use like nostalgic elements to get emotional responses rather than building a strong narrative to hold it up. I don't really know how to end this video. I think it's gonna end abruptly because so did this damn movie. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you have a good day, night, week whenever you're watching this. Hopefully I see you in the next one. Bye!